Welcome back to another episode of Surprise Mama,
where we talk about the shit they don't tell you.
Welcome to the Surprise Mama podcast,
where we talk about the shit they don't tell you.
So tonight we're going to be talking about, everything. There's a lot of things that surprise us clearly, but tonight we're just going to be kind of talking about what the two top things that kind of surprise us the most about pregnancy, like just overall, anything from the, all the topics. What were the two things that surprised us the most? So, yeah. But Molly also just told me that this is the first time she has left the house. They look like completely, like
she's
left the house before.
Okay, wait, we need to back up. I am on maternity leave. I have a daughter. She's 2 months old and some weeks. 2 months and some change, okay? And we're laughing because we're recording this episode. It's 7:30 p.m. here in Columbus, Ohio, everyone. And this is like the first time that I said to my husband, I'm going to leave. And he like put her to bed and fed her and did everything. I mean, it's amazing. Obviously, like I knew he was capable of doing that. So
he's wonderful. He's a
great dad. But it's just kind of funny and ironic that this is the first night that I was like, peace out. And then we're recording.
And you're not even like surprised. You're like, I knew my husband could do this.
Yeah. Because we've worked together as a team. And that can be a topic later on.
Oh, like 100%
how difficult it is to do that.
Yes.
But also how fun it is to watch your spouse interact with your child. Oh my gosh. So cute. So precious. It will melt your heart. So anyways,
so
speaking of melting your heart,
what was one of the things that surprised you the most about the child?
Being a mom?
There we go. Put that way.
Yeah.
Put that way.
Yeah. The number one surprise in postpartum, and people talk about this. This is not that people don't discuss this topic. It's more just the surprise is the experiential knowledge of sleep deprivation. Like, you think that you have not slept before. You have not slept before until you've had a child.
But you know what's crazy? Like, is I feel like your body is just like, okay,
your body does it.
Yeah.
Your body kicks into like this gear to feed your child, to take care of your kid.
Keep him alive.
Have this strong instinct to keep your child alive. And every week that goes by, you're like, we're still all alive. Yes. This is crazy.
Okay, I'm a year and a half from it.
Yeah.
I could not imagine doing it again. Like, I just could not imagine being like, I'm only going to get 3 hours of sleep tonight. Like, I just can't.
Or imagine that when your child sleeps for 2 hours for the first time, you're like, I feel amazing.
Yeah.
I got to.
Well, Molly just said her child slept 6 hours last night. And I'm like, that sounds like gotta save your life.
So she's 2 months old, 2 months in like 2 weeks. This is crazy. We are one of the lucky ones because this doesn't happen to everybody, but she slept 6.5 hours. I literally woke up and I'm breastfeeding. So I was uncomfortable. I woke up and I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
Is my child alive?
Is she alive? So I'm like, desperately looking at the monitor. I have a mom cozy monitor. We can talk about that later. But I'm like making sure she's breathing. And then I just couldn't believe that she had slept 6.5 hours. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But I felt so energized from 6 hours of sleep. Actually, I think I got 5 because obviously I like took a shower and did some other stuff before bed.
Yeah.
But I told my husband, I'm like, no, I don't even need help. Like changing the diaper, I've got this. Because
it's like, and that's the thing, like with like the sleep deprivation where it's very difficult, but somehow your body just knows how to do it because you're a mom and you can just do it. And like, it gets better and better every day basically because they grow up and they learn how to sleep and I mean, obviously every baby's different.
Yeah.
Who knows? But like I feel like with it, it's kind of like there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
There is. And I think it just depends on how you're sleeping, how you're feeding. Like, I am exclusively breastfeeding. So, the sleep was, she's rooming in with us and she was in a bassinet next to our bed, which, my husband and I have talked about this experience with a few people, and like Ashley said she did not have examined her, but it's probably because you guys were taking turns sleeping in the living room.
We had a different setup than Molly.
But we have a couple of friends, and their son is a couple months older than our daughter, and they said they had experienced this as well, and I felt so validated. And what that experience was, due to the sleep deprivation, was that we would wake up at like every hour and a half, because she was 5 pounds, 13 ounces when she was born. So she had to feed very frequently, and she was just really tiny and had a lot of catching up to do. And we would wake up, and sometimes I would wake up and I swore that she was on me. And we never co-slept with her. So this is what's so insane about it. She's never even
Your body's just like, she's supposed to, where is she?
Like, I think I was so used to holding her and doing skin to skin that I just felt her weight on me, and I would wake up delirious, and I would just sit up, and she's in the bassinet next to me. Like, I could see her, and I'm just searching the bed, and there's like white pillows, sheets, and I'm like, that's gotta be the baby.
And Ryan's like, what are you doing?
No. It happened to him too. He would sit up and he would start searching the bed for the baby, because we were just like frantic. But then there were times where I would wake up because I would hear her stir, and I knew she needed to be fed and changed. And I was somehow coherent enough on that turn. And then I'd look over at him, and he's like searching for her. And we were like, oh my gosh. But at one point it just kind of stops, and we were like, oh. And that's the other surprising thing about anything that we talk about, is that at every point, some of these things just stop.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it's not happening anymore.
You're just like, oh, that was a weird phase.
Oh, that's over now.
That's over now. Well, like, again, my daughter is like a year and a half older than yours, whatever. And everything, I look back on some things and I'm like, did that happen? Like, I'm pretty sure it did, but like,
You can't remember.
yeah, or like I block it out. And then Molly will bring something up. Yeah, Molly will bring something up and I'm like, I think I did. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I did it.
Like I think that happened to me.
Yeah. But yeah, that was like the number one shock. I think my husband and I were just so surprised at the delirium that we experienced. And like one of my older friends, she's in her 60s, she has several kids. She was like, oh yeah, there's studies on like war veterans and like their PTSD symptoms and,
like, awesome.
and nursing mothers and like
Could we compare them? I don't know, but
deprivation trauma like apparently aligns. So
God,
it's no joke. But again, on a positive note, it's funny. You just have to laugh.
you just have
You're gonna fight with your spouse in the middle of the night for no reason, and you just have to laugh about it. And you also just have to realize, like, at some point it's gonna end. But,
yeah, like it, yeah.
But it's real.
Oh God,
It's real, folks. Yeah. But anyways, that's my first one. Ashley, what was your like first number one surprise?
My surprise was that my child was a month early. I developed a condition that I didn't know was a thing.
Did you read about it prior?
No. Well, to be fair, I only read like one book and looked at like one video. But okay, I think this thing called cholestasis, which they just like literally don't talk about. Which who knows? I need to ask my OB why.
Well, I wonder if they don't talk about it because sometimes when there's medical conditions,
I think that's why.
OBs don't talk about it. They kind of slyly ask you
I
under
think
the table, like, how are you doing with this broad thing?
Yes.
Because they don't want you to be like psychoanalyzing every symptom you have.
And I think they don't talk about this one is because the only symptom for the mom is you're itchy. Which like
you're already kind of
itchy when you're pregnant because like your skin's expanding, like it's just like
it's dry.
Yeah,
you're dry.
But like the itchiness that I'm talking about is like the bottom of my feet and my palms were itchy, which is like not a normal.
Was it like uncontrollable?
Oh, it was horrible.
Like how long did it go on?
Well, for me, it started on Sunday night. I was like lying in bed. I'm like, man, the bottoms of my feet really itch. It was so weird. So I was like just itching them like with my other feet, whatever. And then on Monday, it was like the worst at night. So like Monday, I didn't think much about it at all. And then Monday night, like I was kind of itching my palms and I was just like, again, didn't think much about it. I had an appointment that Tuesday. Didn't think to bring it up because it just like wasn't on
You had an appointment the next day?
Yeah, because this is a whole different thing, but like she wasn't.
Because they didn't tell you, like, let us know if your hands are itchy.
Well, no, I had an appointment because she wasn't growing and I was like, whatever, she was fine. I had an ultrasound, it was great. But I didn't bring it up because I just like didn't think about it. And then on Wednesday night, like my husband and I went on this really long walk and I came home and I like could not stop itching my hands. And my belly was so itchy. Like it was terrible.
So then it went to your belly.
Yes, went to my belly. So finally I was like, okay, I messaged my OB and I was like, this is so weird. But like my feet, my hands itch so bad.
And they're like, go to the ER immediately.
I messaged her Wednesday night and then on Thursday, like they didn't get back to me. Finally at noon I called and I was like, hey.
Wait, they didn't message?
Well, okay, here's why. I was like, hey, and the nurse was like, we saw your message. Like, you know, my OB, like your OB's been busy all day, but like she's about to get back to me. And they called me like an hour later. They were like, can you come in for like a blood test today? It's a Thursday after work. So I went in for my blood test.
What time did you go in?
Like at 4 in the afternoon. They were like, come in for a blood test. And then tomorrow morning, come in for like a stress test or whatever.
Well, so they thought.
Well, so I went in the next morning and they're like, okay, we'll do the stress test still. Then my OB was like, okay, so you have this thing called cholestasis. And I was like, I've never heard of it. She's like, probably not. And your level's at 50. And they recommend to.
You're like, cool, is that a good level?
I was like, I love that number. What's it mean?
Is that like good? Like we're just in the middle, doc?
Sounds great. Like 100's the worst, right? She's like, well, they recommend delivery at 40. Yeah, when your level's at 40. And they said, they recommend delivery at 26 weeks if your level's at 40. And I was like, I'm at 26 weeks today. She's like, so you're going to be induced today. And I was like, oh, that's fun.
I just got chills. Like, I've heard this story, but I'm like, my stomach's like dropping, like thinking about it because thank goodness that you are a go with the flow person, because if that had happened to me, I would have been like, the world is ending.
Okay. But to be fair, like we had nothing set up. Like our nursery was not set up. Nothing was set up. Luckily, our friend Sarah came over and just like, she didn't put the crib together, which like I do not blame her. But like she set everything up, organized everything, or whatever.
No one uses the crib right
now. But she was like, my OB was like, so this is like at 9 in the morning. She's like, so do you just want to go now? And I'm like, I work full time, and I'm like a manager, and I was like, can I do like tonight? She's like, oh yeah, that probably makes work. So I was like, thank you.
So okay, so they let you come back to the hospital.
Yeah,
induced that night.
Yeah, like I got scheduled for like 8 o'clock, and by the time so my level on Thursday, so because the test results I was at 50.
Okay.
By Friday night, it was at 70.
That's
the issue. Like it like. Okay, and so with cholestasis, what it is, like it's like the bile acid is like building up in your system, and it's dangerous for the baby because it can cause like stillbirth or like just other issues.
Oh my gosh! So
I don't know much about it though.
This baby out of you. Okay.
So, anyways, so that was probably the most surprising thing because I just called my husband. I was like, "Hey, by the way,
we're having a child.
I'm gonna be induced today." And he was like, "Oh, okay." I was like at work, like just messaging a ton of people, like, hey, by the way, I'm going to be having a baby today. So, yeah, it's a month early. I totally understand, but like, it's your life.
4 weeks, no big deal.
Yeah. You guys will figure it out to me, right? Like, it's going to be no big deal.
That's overwhelming. And then, did you have your hospital bag packed?
No.
Oh.
We had nothing. We had literally nothing ready.
Wait, did you work a full day that day?
Yes, I worked a full day.
You're great. Actually, I totally would have done the same.
I may have like ended a little bit early, but like, all I had to do was pack my bag. It's not like I had like a ton of...
Yeah, see, this is where Ashley and I are night and day different. It took me so long to pack my hospital bag because I was like, well, what do I need? Like, do you know?
It has to be perfect. Oh, we should talk about that hospital bag.
Oh, yeah. I have to add that to the list. Oh, I've thought of like 8 things since
I know
talking about this. But
so that was my number one.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're going to talk about like, we'll probably do a whole episode on, we'll do probably multiple episodes on just like pregnancy complications and just things like that.
Yeah. And I think just different birth types, you know, like for instance, I wanted so badly to go into natural labor, but I was also induced.
Yeah.
And there's a lot that you have to process with that can be really kind of shocking.
Especially if you're like expecting one thing and then,
yeah.
I was really, in the end, I was really grateful that I was a month early because my baby was also like 5.5 pounds.
Yeah. We both had small babies.
Thank goodness. I gave her my preemie clothes.
Yes. I know.
But survived my body, I don't think could have handled a larger baby. So I was actually really, which I will talk about, like that whole, basically the doctor said, you are too strong.
So what's it called again when your abs split? Mine split. I didn't know enough about that condition to prevent diastasis.
Yeah. Mine did not split. So it caused issues.
Again, we're not medical experts. So not a nurse over here. But yeah, your abs didn't split.
No.
Like you literally her abs were intact when she gave birth, which is not normal, by the way.
But it also caused problems a little bit when I was pushing.
Yeah,
it was a whole other story.
But you were able to deliver vaginally.
Yeah.
So
it was mine. That was my biggest surprise.
Yeah.
Which again, and I think it's just because I had never heard of that condition before. Nobody had talked about it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Like nothing. None of my friends, I was texting them about it. They're like, we've never heard of that before.
That is so, well, when you told me about it the first time, I said, I've never heard about that.
Exactly.
But I guess with your number one, I'm like, there's a whole list of topics that we could discuss of
100%.
When you have a child that is early.
Yes.
And my child was only a week from, I delivered at 39 weeks. But she was preemie sized, and there's all these reasons for that, which we can talk about at some point. So we each had preemie sized babies, and preemie sized babies come with a whole package of different needs and additional needs.
And there's even earlier babies obviously had.
Neither of our daughters were in the NICU.
No, luckily,
which is amazing.
Yes, very
we're so grateful for that.
My daughter was very jaundiced though. She had to wear she was like a little incubator at the hospital.
That's kind of sad.
I'll show you a picture. I'll put a picture.
Hurt your heart to watch the
No, because it was helping her.
Okay.
So it was like
difference again.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, look at her over there, like a little incubator.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So that was clearly a huge surprise 4 weeks ago.
Because again, and I think I had a severe case of it because it went so quickly. I know other women who have had it and they've gotten it at 32 weeks, but they've been able to hold out until 38 because their levels just weren't high enough. But I was talking to my doctor.
So something they can monitor.
Yes.
Comes up.
And my doctor was saying that, so my husband and I are one and done, but if I were to get pregnant again, there's a 90% chance I would have this again and I would get it earlier and I would probably have I would have an even earlier preemie baby.
Well, good thing that you knew you wanted it done because
I was like, oh, I don't really, because she's like, you probably would get it at 30 or 32 weeks.
That's early.
Yeah.
That's really early.
And because mine came so hard and fast last time, it probably would just be the exact same. And so I would.
That's rough.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be quick with the next one. Our next surprises. They kind of go together. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
So I think the other thing I was kind of just surprised about because I feel like there's a lot of, in social media or just in whatever, even in friends and stuff, you hear recovery is really difficult and, bouncing back is really difficult, which it is. And I think it comes down to how different everybody is and how you deliver and what your body looks like and what you did before and after and all the different stuff.
And just how your body responds and heals.
Yes.
Because maybe you're not in the best shape of your life.
Yes.
But your body heals well.
Yes.
So everyone's body.
So I was I'm a marathon runner. I'm a long distance runner. I've been doing that for years. When I was pregnant, I ran the day I gave birth. So I was really wanting to get back into running, but I was expecting, okay, it's going to be a few months before I can start running again, or at least doing long distance running. And that's okay. If it is what it is, I'll be taking care of my baby and hopefully I can go for walks and whatnot. Yeah. Well, with delivery, she had to cut me, but I forget what it's called. There's a medical term for it.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on it.
We'll come back.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. My thing was too tight.
Yeah. Well, I was also a little tight on my pelvic floor. And what is it called?
I forget.
I wish that they had this.
She was like, I really don't want to do it. I really want to do it. And I'm like, well, my baby, I've been pushing for so long and she's clearly so she did a little cut. My baby just shot out, whatever. Yeah. So I think I got one stitch, which is great. So I didn't tear it at all. And I know. I'm so sorry, Molly.
Well, obviously we said we have similar.
So what I'm saying, like, why everybody is different. And so because of that, my pelvic floor really was not that damaged or wasn't that traumatized by birth.
Yeah.
Therefore,
amazing.
I know I'm very grateful. And again, I think it's because my baby was very small, and yeah.
But I think also, you know, I've had issues with my pelvic floor for years.
Yeah, and
like we've run together.
Yes.
And like it's caused all these problems with my knees. Like I've had a pelvic tilt for years. So I've had
your
tightness.
built. Yeah.
I have tightness in my glutes, the muscles around my tailbone. And, you know, I was hoping for like a better experience, which I'll talk about in a minute, but it turned out to not really be in my favor. And that doesn't mean that's going to be everyone's experience, but like I said, everyone's body is unique.
It's so wildly different.
And like even what you have going on the muscular level can make such an impact, I think, to how tight your pelvic floor is when you're going to deliver.
Yeah.
Like, are you a tense personality? Kind of like I am.
Also,
because that probably didn't help.
I also could not even tell you. Here's how Paul and I are different. I don't even know what the pelvic floor is. We keep talking about it, and I'm like, I literally could.
You're like, can you define that later?
Like,
yeah, we can talk about it.
Can we act?
Yeah, like we should put it on like. Yeah.
People always talk about it. I'm just like, nailed it. I should.
We got it. Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, so
we can talk about that as a maybe that should be one of the surprises of postpartum. Maybe like, what's a pelvic floor?
Clearly, which again, I'm very grateful I didn't have issues with mine. I guess not, because I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, I was pleasantly surprised that I was actually running, and I do not recommend this necessarily unless you know your body. Just know your body, feel your body, know your body. I was running 2 weeks after I gave birth. Not far. I think I ran a mile very slowly.
Crazy.
But then after that, I increased it. So I think I was running the amount of miles I was running was how much I was postpartum. So like 4 weeks, I ran 4 miles.
Amazing.
And again, I think I was pleasantly surprised because I was just expecting it was going to take a really long time. And I was able to listen to my body. And because the kind of birth that I had and like the delivery, allowed me to do that. And I'm really grateful for that. And I was surprised. And I think that like, obviously it is really important to know what is going on and listen to medical advice and all that. But also if you know your body and you know what is going on, like when I went to my 6-week appointment, my doctor was like, things are looking really good. You go back to exercising and running. He's like, ooh. And I was like, yeah, I will definitely start running.
You're right like, now. Yeah, I will start.
Actually, that's so funny. But there's like the opposite of mine. Not opposite, but like it goes along with what I'm talking about.
But I think that's, I just want to emphasize one thing of what you're talking about, because just because something is surprising doesn't mean it's negative.
Yeah.
And I like one of the things and one of the reasons we wanted to make this podcast is because I think a lot of times women don't talk about these topics because they don't want to be negative. Or when people do talk about these topics, it kind of tends to just be in the negative space. And it's hard as someone who maybe isn't yet a mom or wants to become a parent, or you're thinking about whether you want to have a kid or not. It just makes it kind of tricky. And so I'm glad that your experience was positive.
Yeah.
But I also, because I'm like, people don't talk about the positive experience enough. But I also don't think people are honest about the negative experience in a way that isn't a complaint. Because I'm not complaining about my experience. My experience just really shocked me. And it really challenged me to my core. Because I am someone who loves being active. I am someone who really doesn't like to be sedentary. It like hurts me.
Well, and during your pregnancy, were you active, or was it like hit or miss?
It was hard because I was so active. I was in amazing shape because I wanted to be really strong going into pregnancy. But then the day I found out I was pregnant, actually, was the day I started studying for a security license.
I forgot.
So I work in finance, and that was like the same day I realized, oh my gosh, cool, I'm pregnant. my brain's
test
had to
coming
melt
up.
away,
Yep.
and I'm now studying for the most difficult thing I've ever taken in my life. So that was great.
You're like, awesome, great. And timing for everything over here.
Yeah, but yes, I was very sedentary for the first trimester.
Yeah.
Which I think made an impact on how tight I was in my pelvic floor muscles.
The what?
Back to the what? What are those?
We know those are.
But yeah, so anyways, I value being active on any level. I just think it's healthy for us. But I'm someone who also just really struggles with body image, and I think realizing that like I had severe tearing and like thank goodness I only had a 5.5 pound child, because
Would your body have ripped in half?
I think it would have broken my pelvic floor. And I'm sorry I keep using that term.
Like the thing that it just would have gone away.
The bones would have shattered. But like, I could not have bore a larger child. They probably would have been like, we have to C-section you.
You'd be like, please do it. I don't even know.
Like, cut me open.
I had this really quickly. When I was pushing, I mean, I literally couldn't feel anything because I just couldn't feel anything.
Did you get an epidural?
Too much of an epidural.
Oh, see, I didn't get an epidural.
We'll go into that. Yeah. And there were times where I was pushing, and I couldn't feel anything, but I was still like, C-section.
Oh, God.
And it's just tiring. It's just tiring. It's just tiring.
Yeah, it is. It's a marathon.
It is literally a marathon.
But birth, you know, to kind of describe my recovery, is at 6 weeks postpartum, I was still in so much discomfort just sitting.
No.
That I told my husband, and I still mean this, I didn't have an epidural. I would rather give birth again than go through my recovery. Which I'm like, is funny. I'm sorry, like we have to laugh about that, because I'm dead serious. I was like, birth is a pain that is full of purpose, and it's a flash in the pan.
It's quick. Not quick. Sorry, it ends. It ends.
And you're like, then I have this baby. But like the postpartum recovery, if it's bad or painful, it can be really long, and it's just like this pain that doesn't have the same purpose, and you're also tired.
It's just,
and you're trying to take care of your infant. And so for me, I think it wasn't just the mental state of trying to deal with that type of pain postpartum. I think it was like I was so tired.
Yeah.
And I am someone who really struggles to have a gracious, kind mindset towards myself and my image. So, and I'm just being honest about that,
and
because
like when you're pregnant,
it changes your body.
It does change your body, and like
in your body postpartum, you know, it bounces back. I think both of us are active people, so we can say that.
At least for us, it bounced back. Yeah,
it bounced back, but it's still different.
Definitely still different.
Your stomach looks different. Your arm, like my arms looked at, everything looks different, and that is something that is also purposeful and beautiful. But it's still challenging for someone like me who has a hard time with that stuff. But I think that was like one of the other huge surprises for me was the amount of pain that I had in my postpartum.
Wait, what did your OB say it was 6 weeks?
Well, I like, looking back, little word of advice. If you are in pain, listen to your body and message your OB and just say, I'm having a hard time.
Oh, always message your OB.
I didn't. I just was like, I'm gonna tough it out. Like, don't know why I did that, because my husband was like, Molly, just like send the OB a message for like 3 weeks. He kept telling me that. And I was like, I just think this is normal. Well, I go to my six week appointment.
She's like, this is not normal.
And I think it was actually 5, thank goodness.
Yeah.
And she, you know, they evaluate your downstairs, and she goes, ooh, yeah, okay, is that still pretty tender? I was like, yeah. I was like holding my breath. And I don't know the medical term for this, because we're not doctors.
And they may tell you, but you're just like, never heard that.
And you're just like, I'm blacking out.
Like, ooh.
But like, she said I had an overproduction of healing. So what is that? I don't know what
your body's like, my God,
my body was like, this is so bad that we're gonna send so many healing properties to your what is it called, the perineum? Yeah.
Oh, that
perineal.
That's what was too tight for me. My muscle, a perineal muscle.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I couldn't remember the name of it.
It wouldn't open.
Mine at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a fun fact is, I kept saying perineal for like the first 5 months or 5 weeks of postpartum.
You're like,
I kept calling it perennial, and my husband was like, "No,
is it a flower?
It's not a plant.
Is it a flower?
Is
it coming back every year?
Tired. I think I'm really tired.
I think it's a sleep deprivation.
I just couldn't remember the word. But yeah, I had to like get an estrogen cream prescribed.
Does it just like loosen it?
No, I think it just helped. It just helped with healing because here's an impact. Okay, this is probably one of the other reasons why. When you are breastfeeding, your estrogen levels are lower. And so
I did not know that.
You are drier. And I think that impacted my state of healing and like the rate at which
Weird.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah. A little surprise for you there. Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Well, yeah, because your hormones are still just.
Your hormones like, I don't want anything out there.
Actually. Oh, yep. Well, folks, it's the estrogen cream. I can't breathe. Well, kids, we have an explicit right now. Oh,
Nothing that inappropriate.
We can edit that out.
It's so good though. Okay. Anywho.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling now? It's been 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 weeks.
Yeah. I feel great.
Okay. Yeah.
Still like, you got to take it easy here and there.
Yeah.
It all comes down to the fact that you just have to listen to your body.
Literally, I said that multiple times. Like listening to your body is top.
And not listening to your mind's negative comments.
That's it.
What I would say.
Yeah.
Because
It's a battle.
it is a battle. And you know what? If people say, you know what, you look great, it's okay to also feel mad that people are commenting on your
Just
on your appearance, but also like just accept the compliment and realize,
I feel like there's so many.
that's a whole other
It's a whole other topic.
where people like, I think another topic that we have to write down and discuss at some point is the amount of commentary on your person and body.
Yes.
When you are pregnant.
Yes.
In postpartum.
Yes.
Because it's like, yeah, but the thing is, I don't walk up to people and say, oh, you
Like
look
on a normal
so
basis.
great,
Yeah.
or like, I don't walk up to people and touch their stomach and go, how are you feeling? It's like,
Oh my God. What?
And it's
Can you imagine if somebody did that? How are you?
but that happens when you're pregnant.
I know all the time.
And
it's so weird.
Kind of for someone like me, I'm like, you're violating my
Yeah, like just because I'm pregnant does not mean like you can come up to me and just like comment on the way I look.
like there was this time we were in Home Depot and this old man walked up to me and was like, I just love seeing pregnant women. And I backed up 3 steps because I was like, oh my gosh.
You're like, that's very...
And then I just like panned to find my husband and he was just like laser beams, like eye contact with me, ran over. But like stuff like that would happen to me all the time. And it's so awkward.
Oh, it's
like, oh my God.
So weird.
Anyways, yeah. We digress. But yeah. But I think, all in all, those were our top 2 surprises in initial postpartum.
Yeah.
And we just felt like they're funny on some level.
Goofy.
And they're valuable to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, every week we're going to have a different topic. We came up with like 4 while we were just talking right now.
I know.
And we're always going to talk about like what surprised us about that topic or like, things like that. So, I think, I will say, I don't think there was anything, literally anything that I was like, I was prepared for that.
Same.
Like, that was fine. It didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Like, I will even say the joy of like having my child and experiencing her, I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah. There's
like, you think you're like, oh yeah, I can't wait to be a mom, or, actually initially we were people that never thought
we did not think we were going to have kids.
But you're just surprised by joy. You're surprised by devastation. You're surprised by like things that really hurt. You're surprised by like the amount of help that comes along. It's just, there are so many things that will blow you away and just kind of knock you off your center.
Yeah.
And not all of them are bad.
No.
But I just think, you know, we initially wanted to start with our top 2.
Yeah, just because I feel like it was a good, good way to get going. But again, if you guys have any like comments or like questions, or I mean, we really would like to hear what surprised you. I think that will just add to the conversation. It could also just be probably another topic. Email us at surprisemommapod@gmail.com. And yeah, we'll try to get to them. Sorry.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.